And we are joined now by former gymnast Jennifer Say. She now runs the company XXXY Athletics, which supports banning trans women from competing in women's sports. And you know she likes the brand because she shows up wearing it. You don't see retail bosses do that all the time. Good to have you with us, and thank you for being here. I know you were on the steps of the Supreme Court today among those observing this case, or these two cases. How are you hoping, ultimately, the justices rule, and why?
I am hoping, or I guess what I think will happen and what I'm hoping for is the justices will rule. I think we'll get a 6-3 ruling, probably not 9-0, as some of the AGs hope, that these states, 27 states that have laws on the books that protect women's sports, they'll be able to continue doing that. But from my perspective, we're not done at that point. You know, I'm here to protect girls' sports, keep women's sports female, and there's still 23 states that are going to be allowed to have boys participating, and I think they'll double down on that, states like California. And girls in California deserve fair competition, too.
So ultimately, should this be left to the states to decide, to counties, to school districts to decide, or would you like to see blanket federal rulings or law on this?
I would like to see federal legislation that reifies Title IX as it was intended. Title IX was created to protect women's sports and give women equal opportunity, women and girls equal opportunity in the education system, not males who believe themselves to be women.
If transgender athletes in those states that ban this aren't allowed to compete in women's sports, where and how should they compete?
In boys.
It's that simple to do.
They're male.
So they can compete on that side?
Sports,
they make it.
Absolutely. Sports are not about identity. They are about, the category is based on bodies. That is women's and men's, girls and boys. There's ages, there's weight classes. If a heavyweight thinks of himself as a welterweight, he does not get to compete down a weight class. It's based on actual bodies. And they possess male bodies and they can compete in boys. And if they don't make the team, well, lots of people don't make the team.
Yeah. Are you afraid a ruling in favor of the bans, as you're anticipating, could have any unintended consequences and weaken Title IX protections in some way?
I don't think it weakens Title IX. I think we're asking for the bare minimum here. I think we're asking that states be allowed to protect women's sports. I don't think, from my perspective, we've won when that happens. I don't think we've won until every state recognizes that men's bodies and women's bodies are different. There's one truth, two sexes, that's it.
And what's, I think, interesting to some is while the courts are still working on this and may ultimately settle at least this specific part of it, it does seem as if public opinion is on your side, almost overwhelmingly so at this point, that girls do girls sports, guys do guys sports.
I think the public understands that there are two sexes. I think the other side, the side that is the opposite of mine, has done a very good job for the last 20 years of convincing people of a fiction. But people know there are two sexes. Girls deserve their own sports and spaces. And moms and dads across the country and young athletes have been standing up. And I think people just understand the material reality of biology. I'd like to think our brand has played a little bit of a role in this, but I don't want to take too much credit. People understand material reality.
And to those who say, because there is no uniform way to know how many transgender athletes are participating in women's sports or vice versa, it doesn't appear to be a very big or widespread issue, you say what?
Well, that's not true. There's been thousands of podium spots, awards stolen from girls, and I would argue one is too many. Do we let one man taking performance-enhancing drugs compete? No.
Well, the Olympic movement certainly has let some through, and then it comes back. You'll find out later that there's issues with it. But
right,
I see
but
your
now
point.
there's pretty aggressive and disciplined testing. And all I'm asking for is testing for sex, which is what the Olympic movement had until 1999, and then they stopped at that point. One is too many. Girls deserve fairness.
So you get your ruling the way you anticipate it goes, which is, in essence, provides clarity for the way forward. And you continue pushing until all 50 states ban this.
All 50 states and all governing bodies. The U.S. Olympic Committee, the International Olympic Committee, I believe we need to push to test for sex again. It's a simple cheek swab. It's not invasive.
All right. Jennifer Say, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.